In this video, we're going to continue with our valley framing, and we're going to put the sleepers in place. Now, the sleepers are pieces of 2x6 material that are going to rest on the roof plane on top of the plywood. And the function of the sleepers is that we can set our ridge board on them, we can set our rafters on them, and they distribute the load that will be imposed by those rafters and the ridge board, and it'll distribute it over several trusses, and it'll avoid having a point load on the roof that could cause deflection or even cause the roof to fail if the load gets high enough. Now, this is a little tricky because we're not laying lumber in a normal orientation, north, south, east, west, up, down. It's at an angle, and it's at an angle. It's a compound angle is what they refer to that as. It's not it's at like a 45-degree angle, and it's tilted. So we have to figure out how to put a piece of lumber at that kind of angle. Now, I've tried several different ways to do that, and I don't know that I found the right way or the best way to do it. But here's one way to do it. Okay, so I'm going to take my 2x6 down here. I'm just trying to think of. I think I want to make a new tag, and I'm going to call it valley framing. Okay, so we'll go with valley framing, and then I'm going to select my ridge board that I did earlier because I didn't give it a tag. I'm going to go to entity information. I'm going to click on the tag. It says untagged, and I'm going to go down and select valley framing. Okay, so there's the beginning of my valley framing. Then I'm going to get this piece of wood here, and I'm going to copy it, and then I'll paste it, and I'm going to bring it up here near the top of the roof, and then I'm going to right click on it and go to entity information so that I can change it from exterior walls to valley framing. Okay, I want it to be part of the valley framing so that I have them tagged appropriately. Okay, so now I'm going to move that piece, and I'm going to get the bottom corner, and I'm going to bring it up. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I'll get this side bottom corner, and I'm bringing it up. I'm just going to set it right at the roof, angle of the roof there. And the first thing I'm going to do is rotate this piece so that it comes down and it's going to be the same slope as the roof. Once again, this is just me playing around trying to figure out how to do this. I don't have a lot of experience doing compound angles like this, so let's see if this works. I'm going to come in and I'm going to hit rotate, and I'm going to select the bottom of the truss or the piece of lumber, and I'm going to rotate it down to where it sits on the roof. Okay, and I'm just going to go down here and look at it and see if it sits on the roof. And it looks like it's sitting pretty well. Okay, so we've got that piece sitting on the roof. Now, what we need to do is rotate it so that it sits at the angle. I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to do that by putting this corner of the board right on that intersection there. And then I'm going to come up here, use the rotate tool again, and I'm going to rotate this point. Now I'm not I think I need to use that black protractor on my rotate tool. I'm going to select that end, and I'm going to bring it around. Oh, no, that's not correct. Okay, well, here we go, trying to figure this out. So I'm going to try this again. I'm going to move this corner, and I'm going to move it down to here. And then I want to rotate that piece. I want it to be the black compass that is there. And then, that's not going to rotate it right. Okay, so I'm going to go to rotate. I want to be on that corner, but I want the black compass that is that one there. That's the compass I want, but I want it on that corner. I'm not sure how to get it to do what I want it to do. Obviously, I did it earlier, but see, that's this. Well, isn't that fun? Okay, I'm going to get that one. So I did it to the top corner, and then I'm going to come along and snap onto the top edge, and I'm going to rotate it around. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. And I want to get a little further away here. I want to go up the line a little bit so that I can get it more exact. I'm going to set it as close as I can to being right on that line. Okay, so now I've got the board, the sleeper, in the right orientation. That was a little tricky, huh? So I've got it sitting, so it looks pretty good there. Now what I want to do is I want to move it. Now, because you can tell the plywood sits on this plane, it's going to hit that sleeper. So I need to move that sleeper so that this edge is down to the top of the roof plane. Okay, so I'm going to try to just click on it and slide it down. If I can get it going the right direction here. I'm going to just slide it down. I want to keep it on the roof. And let's see, I got it underneath the roof that time, didn't I? Okay, a little tricky getting this to slide the right direction. But I want to move it this way till it just about hits the plane of the roof. We're getting close there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to double click into the group, and I'm going to push this end back so that it's even with the edge of the truss. And then just take a look and see how much damage I've done here. Okay, well, we're really close to being where we want to be. You know, we're within a 1/16 of an inch or so, and that's really not too bad. If we go and look at the top now, we have the top just a little shy of where it really needs to be. So I'm going to just see if I can move it back a little bit, right about there, because that's really close. Okay, I like that. And now what I need to do is cut it. And so I'll cut it so that it has a plumb cut, if you will, down the center line of this truss. Now, if you notice back there, I pushed the piece up. Here, I'll pull it out just a little bit. Oops, I got to double click into it first. And I'll pull it up a little bit, so it still won't be over 16 feet long. But that gives me a chance. That gives me the opportunity to put this plumb cut on it. And so I'm going to put a cut going right down here. So the other piece that comes up from the other direction will meet it right there. And then at the other end, I'll put a cut along this line here. So I'll just come into it like that and draw a line. So you double click so you're into the group, and then draw a line from intersection to the edge over here, and then push pull. I didn't quite do it right, it looks like. So I have to get that line so that's exactly, that cuts the whole piece of wood, and then I can push pull that side out, and I can have a correct angle cut here. Okay, and once I make those two cuts, I'm going to lay another piece on the other side, doing the same thing. It's a little tricky to do, but and it'll take a little bit of time, but that's what we need to do. And then when we come back on the next video, I'll show you how we're going to start laying in the rafters.